We
Hey,
live.
welcome to Find a Born Leader Within You. Not even motivation, it's inspiration, it's empowerment. Speaking to leaders around the world, all around the globe. I've spoken to people in Canada, India, well, not yet Australia. You know, I'm kind of like, even in the UK as well, we've had one interview in the UK. We're broadcasting on so many different places. We're broadcasting on Zoom, we're broadcasting on YouTube, we're broadcasting on Facebook, and we're broadcasting on my Facebook profile. Powerful device. I've got here Maurice Andrew. Maurice Andrew, the wolf. Let me repeat this for you all. Yeah, I want you to just hear what I'm saying. Can you hear me there, Maurice? Yeah, the wolf of Croydon. So for those of you that already know what the title was, it was Hamster. We had a little play around with the title, Hamster to the Wolf of Croydon. We wanted to play around with it. We didn't want it to be too like, whoa, what, wolf? Like, there's a wolf? There's a wolf about? There's a loose wolf? So he's here, and we're going to be doing it the same style we always do for Find a Born Leader Within You members. And for you guests that don't know what this is about, you're about to see what we do, what I do, how I interview. It's very different from what anyone else, from what I've seen what other people do. We're going to be focused on income story. We're going to be focused on the backstory. We're going to be focusing on exactly what brought him to this interview now. What has he done up until now to get him on this interview exclusive with us here, Find a Born Leader Within You, and all the other platforms that we are broadcasting to. This is new. Don't know how this is working out. We'll respond to questions. So Maurice, straight into it, man. Thank you. Welcome. Happy New Year. How was your New Year, Christmas? How was that for you, man?
Happy New Year to yourself as well. Christmas was great. The New Year's was great as well. Was able to spend it with the family, which was a wonderful. Went to my sister's for New Year's as well with my partner, which was amazing. Got to spend the New Year, went into the New Year with the family, and yeah, man, it was joy, and yeah, it was great. It was great. It was a time to remember. A lot of
oh my gosh! And I saw one of the pictures, man. You look really nice. The picture, I'm not sure who it was with you. It was a lovely lady with you. But it was
my sister.
It was a nice picture you shared. Your sister, yeah? On Facebook.
Yeah,
you see, I'm being
yeah.
careful. You see, us hosts have to be saying what we ask. But yeah, the picture was a lovely picture, man. And you look like you was having fun. And we see you got some gifts as well. I see you playing the drums, you know. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I've been a drummer for 11 years now.
11 years. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So I want to know, and the audience wants to know, we want to know, what makes you the wolf? What do you do? What's the first thing you do before you go to sleep at night? What's the routine like? And then after you wake up, before you open your eyes, but we'll go into that, the nighttime routine. What's it looking like for you?
The nighttime routine is really simple. So I speak to my partner as well. We dream build, we talk about the future, what the future is going to be holding for us. And after that conversation, we then, when we go to sleep, we just put on an audio and we listen to that audio whilst we sleep. And we might do affirmations. So we might say our goals out loud. But all in all, it's just really a calm down. It's really just meditation. It's really just calm. It's really just talking about the future. It's really just mindset has to be in check, right? So the main thing that's important is that we listen to something powerful whilst we go to sleep. So at the moment, I listen to an affirmation that's about 2-3 hours long on Spotify by Bob Proctor. It's just the same affirmation over and over and over. And I fall asleep to that.
That's powerful. That is powerful. Okay, so you do that every night, and then what happens when you wake up before you open your eyes in the morning? Is that still rolling in your ear? Are you still listening to it?
Sometimes, if I play the 8-hour one, I'll wake up to it. But if it's just a 2-hour one, I'll wake up and there's complete silence. And I just lay in my bed, obviously give thanks for waking up again, another day to go and impact some lives, another day to meet some new people. And then the next thing I do is I then put on a 5-minute audio. It's from a movie called The Gladiator. I think it's called, the audio is called Elysium. And I got this actually from one of my mentors. So I play this, I shut my eyes and I say my goals out loud in my bedroom. And I just dream of the future. I envision it and it's like I can hold it in my hand. And I do that for like 5-10 minutes straight. And then I'll get on my day. I'll go for a jog. I wake up at like 5. So I'll go for a jog afterwards, get to the gym for about 6 a.m., gym session from 6 to 7, come back home, have breakfast. By the time everything is sorted and I get ready, it's like 9 a.m. And then, yeah, man.
Okay. Is this like a routine, a consistent thing? Do you ever fall off, or is this just like military? Like, this is what you do. This is the set routine of what you do. Or has it changed now that it's the new year and everyone's like, hey, it's new year, so we got to step it up? Or was it still the same for you?
Do you know what it was? It was more a thing where I never used to wake up really, really early. I didn't, I'll be honest. But what I used to do was I wake up at like 9, 10 in the morning. I got comfortable. You know, the lifestyle was great. So I was like, yeah, it's okay. But then I set very big goals this year. Me and my business partners, me and my friends, me and my partner, we set very, very big business goals. And when we did that, a thought came to my mind. If we want to achieve these goals, we have to change some things that we're doing. So simple things as waking up early. So we actually started a little bit before the new year. And we just kept it running. And then we created a page on Instagram called 5 a.m. Club, where anyone that wants to take part, whether we know them or not, just tags us in the Instagram video whilst they're taking a jog outside, reading a book, listening to an audio, 5:30 in the morning. It could be anything. But we want to keep it military because we want to keep it consistent. We don't want to just fall off, you know?
Ooh, wow. Okay, this is the part where we go back. It's not that back for you, right? Not that back into the story for you. So it should be easy for you to remember. So we want you to go back as far as you can remember, whether that's toddler and you're just learning to walk. What was your earliest memories? Who did you see as a role model? Like, was it anything different from where you're at now? What was the journey like from as far back as you can remember?
The journey has felt like a movie, bro. It's been so long, so long, but it's been very short at the same time. And I'm only 22. But I can remember as far back as the first Christmas I remember, where I was wearing this red jumper and this red jogging bottoms. I think it was a Christmas outfit. And all I remember is my dad carried me downstairs and the lights were really bright. I had just woken up. And I was like, wow, man, this is going to be Christmas like every year, the whole family. But then, you know, things happen. There's family moves that way. Separation with brothers and sisters happen. Everyone grows up. All the kids are no longer kids anymore. And because I then kind of separated, and then, you know, you find a new family. You might find a family in school. You might find a family in outside influences. So one thing that I remember happening was, you know, the normal thing that I hear a lot of people say, hang out with the wrong crowd. You know, so when that actually happened, what now happened was, I think something's
do you want to turn the volume down on the other device?
Yeah, it's the lowest actually, but it's the feedback is crazy.
Okay.
I might just have to close that because it's interfering.
Okay.
But yeah, anyway, so basically what happened was so I remember Christmas, I saw Christmas and I said, okay, this can be like every year. But then obviously, as I said, the separation happened. And then when I kind of grew up, I then had outside influences. I had friends, I had different family members I looked up to as well. And one thing I definitely remember was when I was actually growing up as a kid. I remember like 7, 8 years old. For the guys on the call, for those who are on Facebook Live, Zoom, doesn't matter what you're on, I know some of you know about Les Brown. Some of you have heard of Bob Proctor, right? You heard of Jim Rohn. You heard of these guys. Like, when I went to sleep, my mom and dad didn't tell me bedtime stories. There was no nursery rhymes. There's no nothing like that. They just say good night and I go to bed, right? When I go to bed, my dad would be playing Les Brown in the background. But he didn't know I could hear it. So what started to happen was, from a young age, my mind started to get programmed. And I didn't know it was happening to me. So then when I get stuck in certain situations, especially like school, right? I go to school and I have a confrontation with someone, or I go to school and I'm playing sports, I'm playing football or something. What would then happen was, if something happened that was negative, it didn't affect me that much. I kind of just let it, you know, brush off my shoulder. Kind of just said, okay, it's cool. But in the back of my mind, I always knew that I could achieve so much. I can do it and I could do it. And something I always remembered from when I was a kid is that audio where Les Brown is saying, it's not over until I win. And I kind of kept that mindset in everything I went into. And even though I was you know, brought up with that, listened to those audios, it wasn't the dominant factor in my life. The dominant factor in my life was the school friends and the wrong crowds. So it's like a constant battle, constant battle, constant battle. And that was from like 7 years old to maybe 11, right? When I remember when I turned 11, I met these, well, between 11 and I say 11 and, was it 15? No, yeah, 11 and 14. Between 11 and 14, I met these two guys who had a lot of influence over my life. They're no longer here today because unfortunately I, you know, lost them to violence and whatnot. But they kind of showed me the route not to go down. So it wasn't the best route. It was a violent route. I've seen a lot of things, probably things I shouldn't have seen when I was like that young, something that people shouldn't see anyway. And it was something that some people would say, no, man, that scarred me for life. But then some other people would say, well, you know, it is what it is. We grew up in the area. And I'm not going to go into too much detail on what happened.
That's fine.
It is very, the only way I can think of it is very graphic. But yeah, all I remember is the day I told my mom and dad, you know, what had actually happened. I actually remember they both looked at me and they said, really? My mom looked at me and was like, do I even know you? Like, you've been living this entire complete different life. You come home, you're our son, and outside you're just another person. And for me, the switch flipped when I lost both of them. And I said, okay, this is a life that I can't go down, because it just leads to one ending. That ending is not the best send off, right? And obviously, growing up in Croydon, you do have some people who don't influence but manipulate for their own gain. You don't have the best opportunities in Croydon as well. So it is quite hard to find the right person to mentor you. But again, this is where, you know, law of attraction comes in, right? Because I was around that environment, that's all I was attracting. I accepted that. I said, no, this is what it's going to be. It's going to be this. And I accepted that, and I continuously attracted it over and over. And then things started to happen. Got into fights here and there. This happened, that happened, wrong crowd, lost a lot of people. And now when I look back, I say, okay, cool. Maybe here's a situation for some other people that might be in that situation. You don't have to go through something to learn that is wrong. Just see what someone else is doing and use common sense to say, is this what I really want to do, or is it not? And if it's not, just leave it. Just go about your life and switch it up. Because
you know what? You just dived in, like you went straight in there. Can we pause a second on that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because first of all, it sounds like, because you're young as well, I didn't really let you mention your age first. We said we weren't even going to talk about age, because age ain't nothing about number. This guy is so wise with knowledge, so humble of what he's accomplished. You know, I just want you to just know how humble he is. Like, when I got asked to get him on the interview, he didn't brag about figures. He didn't say anything like that. We just discussed exactly what we're going to be covering, what we're going to be putting out there, because I may look young, but I'm not young. And since we're talking about ages here, you know, I'm 37. But at the same time, it's not easy living on this street, you know, being a young person growing up. I still can relate. I feel I can relate. Please allow me to, if I but the point is that it's like, I don't think people actually realize what you've accomplished. At the same time, did you just skip nursery and go straight onto the street? What happened in between? There's a gap there.
So what actually happened was, one day I was getting picked on when I was in year 6.
Yeah.
So when I got picked on, what happened was, that's when I was about 11 years old, right? So I got picked on when I was in year 6, and this guy came out of nowhere and kind of just, you know, told him to go away. Okay. It was actually crazy. He didn't actually say anything. He just appeared, and they saw him. And I overheard one of them, and they were like, "Oh, that's da-da-da-da." And they just walked away. And I was like, who's this guy? Don't know who this guy is. And then I didn't see him for like 2 weeks. And then I saw him again later on, right? And I went up to him and said, hey, look, thanks, man. But da-da-da-da-da. And then from then, he kind of walked me to the bus stop. And then from walking me to the bus stop, it turned into, walking around Croydon. From then walking around Croydon, it ended up to turning up late at home. Saying to my mom and dad, yeah, man, the bus, it was delayed. Buses never get delayed, man. They're always on time. But I always used to say stuff like that. And then obviously they wouldn't know what I'm doing, where I am. And then from 11, it just grew. See, between like primary school, so between like 7 and 11, it was cool, man. It was fine. It was all clear. The wrong crowd came from that one interaction.
Wow.
That one interaction, I allowed to myself to feed into it. Because even when you're a kid, you still know what to do and what not to do. You still know some form of, sense. But I wanted to hang out with a cool guy. I thought he was a cool guy. And so now him and the other person are no longer here. It's just made me think, okay, cool. There are a lot of people that's probably in the situation that I was in like 10 years ago, 11 years ago. So yeah, that's basically where this happened.
Wow. So that was very young age, school, college, university, or there's a little gap there?
So when I went from I went from primary school. So after year 6, I went to St. Andrews. So I went to Whitehorse Manor in Thornton Heath. Okay. Some of you probably have no idea what Thornton Heath is, but Thornton Heath is another place in Croydon. And I went from Thornton Heath in Whitehorse Manor to then go to St. Andrew's School in Croydon. And when I went to St. Andrew's School, that is where, St. Andrew's was a huge turning point for me. That's where everything really like vamped up. That's where everything really like stepped up a notch in like all my areas of life. And I had to make a decision, either stay on the same path I was in that I started on or divert. And the one thing I loved about my school was there was so many different types of people. Like you had the guys that, thought they were that guy. They thought they were the road man. They thought they were this. They thought they were that. You then had the really, really smart people. And then you had one type of group, the other type of group. And then there was like the people like me who just made friends of everyone. I never had an enemy in school. I just always made friends with everyone. Because the way I saw it, I said, you never know. We might help each other in the future. That's the kind of idea I went into. And when I was in year 9, that's when I lost the first guy I actually met. And that point is where my heart turned like ice cold. I was not the same Maurice that people knew. For mom and dad, I was still, their precious little son, the youngest, the golden spoon. But there was a huge part of me that, I was like, it is what it is. We're just going to get on with life. And I don't care anymore. Because I'd never lost someone close to me like that. I'd lost in the past. My dad lost his dad, so I saw the effect. But I never lost anyone that I knew like that. So the first time it happened, I was like, okay, this is new, and I didn't know how to handle it. I became very violent, lashed out, and in school, I was a good kid. In school, I studied drama. I'm a creative. I did art. I did music. That's where the creative side came. That's where I was able to express myself. I was able to express myself through that. So through that, I was able to actually, but
crazy. Yeah. What you've been through in such a young age as well. Since you've been, I'm not going to touch on that too much, but you've been through such a lot, and you stay humble. You stay motivated. You stay focused. What was the breaking point from working a job, dealing with all that you had to deal with, all that going on in your head, to get you to start to focus on one particular area and start building a team? Because it is network marketing is, you have to have a team, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Or you're not going to grow. Duplication. Yeah.
The breaking point was crazy. So where I felt anxious or depressed, I expressed that either through my creative side or through violence. Then when I let go of the violence, I didn't know if you don't actually sort the situation out, you will just find something else to fill the void. So the breaking point actually led up because the day I turned 18, the day I turned 18 is where I was like, cool, man, I can have alcohol now. So I went to one Friday night clubbing, spent a little money, got a little tipsy. I was like, okay, that was cool. Then went out to Saturday, and then for like a year and a bit, it was every weekend. I didn't miss one. I did not miss any weekend. I was even there on Thursdays, bro. When they had the discount days, I was there. Me and the guys, we were just drinking. And there has been countless times where I have woken up or I've been rushed to the hospital and then my mom and dad are sitting there. And the one that was the breaking point for me was I used to have a issue with my chest years ago. A little issue with my chest where it's like I'd hyperventilate, my ribs would feel like they're crushing in, and I just like collapsed because of the pain. I couldn't actually stand up. It felt like my whole body shutting down. And then what I remember was when we were out, it was a Halloween party. This is where I made the decision to like chill on the drinking. It was a Halloween party we went to. I do not remember that Halloween party to this day. I just remember I saw a picture the other day. I went on Google Photos and I was scrolling. I was like, wow, this is a throwback. And the group of friends I was friends there is completely different to the group I have now. Completely different. My association has changed. And that night, a fight broke out. I then got rushed to hospital, and I woke up the next day. And the guys I was with, one of their lips was bust. One of them was trying to protect me. He got hurt. And my mom and dad were sitting right next to me. And my mom just looked so, like, the doctor said, you could have lost your son. Like that could have been it. And that hasn't happened once. The first time it collapsed, they told him that. I remember that scenario happening. And this time, it wasn't even because of my chest. It was because I was stupid and I was drinking my life away. And I woke up and I actually couldn't physically move. I was like, yeah, I am really, 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 really hurting right now. And the after effect, I could feel pains in my body. And we're on the way home and I was like, I need to really sort myself out. I really need to sort myself out because I was working, I was getting money, and I was just blowing it all away. Over and over, working, blowing it. And the turning point, that was the turning point to where I said, okay, this needs to stop. I need to sort out whatever I need to sort out in my life because right now my life is just spiraling. I have no idea what's going on. And it was around that time, a whole year after. So one whole year after is then when I found this network marketing opportunity, the one I'm in now. Because the one I was in before was called Planet. You know about Planet. And
yeah,
that was the same year that I went with the Halloween, that I was doing this and I was doing that. So sometimes people ask me, how come you didn't have success in Planet or da-da-da-da? And Planet's a great company. It's got great mentorship. It's got great leadership. The thing with me is I was not ready, or I was not in the frame of mind to even receive that level of achievement. Because if I did, in that frame of mind, I would have lost everything, or worse could have happened. So a whole year later, I get introduced to the platform I'm in now. I am Academy, and it's been great. It's been amazing. But I remember when I got started, that was another turning point for me because I said, okay, cool. I'm not going to do the same thing I did last time. I'm just going to go all out and work. I'm going to go all out and I'm going to trench like crazy. So in about a year and a half, I hadn't collapsed again. I was fine. I was well. I was all good. And then that's when I was 19 is when I got started with this platform, October 2017. December 17th was my birthday. So 3 months after I started with this platform, I'm starting to generate residual income. I'm learning the trading. I'm learning the platform, how it works. I'm growing a team, and I take a picture of my birthday. And then 15 minutes later, I collapsed again. But this time it was because I was going so hard that my body was just wearing out, was just wearing out. And I had burnt out. And because I burnt out so much, I was now using up extra energy that I didn't even actually have. Rushed me to the hospital. My mom and dad are like, yo, man, you need to chill. Like, you hit the position, just kind of relax. I'm like, no, because I've done stupidness in the past, and you guys, I could have retired you earlier if I got my act together. So until that's done, I can't rest. Like, even now that I have a partner, that's another reason why we can't rest. Like, if my parents get retired, okay, that's great. But now we have our future to plan. So we have no reason to rest. We have no reason to just sit back and chill. The things that we've been through, the things that I personally have seen in life, I shouldn't have experienced that, but it's made me who I am today. Even the name, how I got Wolf of Croydon, is different.
Wolf of Croydon. Are you just going into that? Pause on that for a second, because I just want people to understand, because like you mentioned another opportunity, Planet Net Marketing. And I just want people to understand, because you mentioned it, but people don't really know our relationship together. Now, I was at a meet, I had actually done an event. I was just done public speaking, my first guest speaking event. I'm not going to go into that. And I went into the next room and I saw this guy and he was sitting there suited, booted, three-piece suit, looking sharp. I was like, who is this guy? Like, I've never met him before. I've been in this business for like about a year now within Planet. And I'm like, who is he? So I introduced myself, we got talking, and it happens to be this gentleman right here, right now, Maurice Andrew. Humble as ever, had a conversation, said, why are you staying Planet? I didn't know the whole backside story of why he wasn't in it, because he ain't going to share that right there and then. But we had a lot of conversation, and I knew this guy was a superstar. I didn't know what he'd achieved, didn't know what he'd accomplished. I didn't even understand like what he was about. But then I started to like follow, look, we added each other on the social media, you know, as you do. And I was like, I'm staying in contact with this guy. And I watched him just growing, not knowing that he was really in that momentum, that he was putting himself out. This guy is a phenomenal guy. For those of you watching on the replay, reach out to Maurice Andrew. He's going to give you his credentials after he's finished the same where the title came in from Wolf. I can really feel it. I'm getting goosebumps right now. This guy, I'm telling you, he is a future pioneer. And there's major things going to be happening for this guy. You know, like when I interview people, I don't just interview people just for the sake of, oh, they've accomplished X amount of income and they're high above the charts in their leadership in their business or whatever the industry they're in. Because I don't just interview people in network marketing. I interview people in different industries. You know, and that's where Findable Leader is light years apart from any other people online or groups, or I can say it now, is because I don't just pin it down to this online. You could be someone who's in property, you could be someone who's in music, you could be someone who's in fashion design. You know, it doesn't matter who you are. If you've got a story that's compelling and the audience needs to hear it, then they need to hear it. And like, Maurice, I'm so excited to get him on the interview, man. We've been working to get this happening from before this year. Like, how many months ago, bro? Like 3-4 months ago.
We've been
like,
we've been planning this for a while, bro.
It's like, you got my number? No. Would you? No, to get through to you. You should give me the right number. I'm like, bro, I'm not messing you around, man. Maurice, I want you on this interview. I'm not messing you around. Finally happening. So yeah, going into how the Wolf name came about, man.
So yeah, the Wolf name actually came around. There's not actually like a huge story. I always called myself Maurice Andrew. We're coming home from a London office in Piccadilly, and when we were coming home, I was actually walking home by myself, and I saw a couple of old friends that I hadn't seen in years from secondary school, and they were like, "Yo, Maurice, what you saying, man? How's it going?" I was like, "Oh, yo, I haven't seen you guys in ages, bro. How you guys doing?" They're like, "Yeah, we're good." And they're asking me what I'm doing now. I'm like, "Yeah, I've been doing trading. You know, I've been learning to trade, and I'm also building a business around it as well." And they were like, "Wow, okay. So you do like stocks and stuff?" And I was like, "Well, not too heavy on stocks. We do foreign exchange, cryptocurrency." And they were like, "Oh, okay. So you're like the Wolf of Croydon now then, yeah?" And then I was like, that's funny. And then as I was going home, I was like, actually, has a ring to it. And then I just called myself the Wolf of Croydon after that. That's literally how I got the name. My friend called me it, and I just ran with it.
Why not?
And then that is literally as simple as it is. There was no I was up late one night meditating, and it came to me. Nah, it was it was literally a friend of mine called me, and I was like, cool, man, I'll run with it. And now, like, sometimes I'll go into Croydon, and someone will shout Wolf of Croydon, and I'll be like, oh, you actually know who I am. And they're like, yeah, man, we have you on Instagram, or like we've seen you at an event, or we've seen you on someone else's Snapchat. And that's the important thing about branding. Brand yourself positive from, you know, the beginning. So if someone sees you, they'll be seeing you for the good reason, you know?
You kind of, I don't know who's told you to do this, but you've got this personal branding thing going on. You haven't branded yourself under any company from what I've seen so far. If I've got it wrong, people, from what I've seen, this guy has not. Yeah, and I have to give you kudos for it, because whatever you go into, you're just you, and people will just be like, okay, it's the Wolf of Croydon. Boom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you're not tied into anything. You can move around freely if you choose to, you know, and some people get a bit funny about people moving from industry to industry, but, you know, it doesn't mean he's left. It just means he's growing. You know what I mean? It just means he's growing. As you see my freestyle recently, Freedom. You know, we like to be free. you know, we like to have fun. We like to enjoy this, and that's another thing that I like about Maurice, because it's not just like just one track pony kind of thing. You know, there's like blinkers on, and this is it. It's not that. He's still embracing these other talents and gifts. You know, if you could just let people know your credentials. Thank you everyone for joining us. I hope you got massive value. We've gone way a couple of minutes over time, but it's been well worth it. You know, I don't want to keep you too much. I know you've got some big business to deal with after the school, but I ain't going to go into that. Let people know how they can get in touch with you, bro. This is really being the big
To get in touch with me, real simple. You can get in touch with me on Instagram. Instagram is going to be called Wolf_of_Croydon, or you can just type in Wolf of Croydon, it'll come up. You can get in touch with me with Facebook. Facebook kind of messed up my name. My name is Maurice Andrew, but on Facebook it's called Maurice Nathan or Nathan Maurice. So Nathan's my middle name, but yeah, it is what it is. You can get in touch with me on, Instagram and Facebook. That's really it. I don't really use Snapchat. Snapchat is dying out. But Instagram mainly. If you want to get in touch with me and you want responses, definitely hit me up on Instagram. Wolf of Croydon. You can go on my page. Anyone that follows me right now, you know, I'll drop a follow back. We'll connect. We'll network, and then, yeah, man, we'll grow.
Okay, so as I always do on Find a Born Leader, I always like to connect you with the person that I've interviewed, the guest. So if you want to if you see this video, wherever you're seeing it, whatever platform it's on, just reach out to me, reach out to Maurice. I'll get you to get directly to Maurice. You know, it's not going to be that straightforward just to get you on a call with him. He did say, I don't know if it's still going, but he did say he'll give some of you a couple,
yeah,
you know,
it's
a call.
still, yeah,
I don't know how long the call. I don't think 24-hour call. That's just because he's the wolf and he's hungry. You let them know, bro. You let them know.
Well, yeah, if you wanna get in touch with me, just literally just say, hey, look, man, I was on the call with you in the interview as you were the guest speaker. Just let me know where you knew me from, and we'll get on a call. I would be a phone call or a Zoom call, and we'll connect, man.
Yeah, you heard it there from the Wolf of Croydon, Maurice Andrew. It's been a pleasure connecting with you. For those of you that don't understand what Find a Born Leader, but thank you, bro. Find a Born Leader within you is about having peak performance leaders like Maurice Andrew. That's who I interview. I get their backstory. We don't talk about how much money they're spending, what they're splashing, how much they're earning, how their bank account is fully crazy amounts of money. We don't talk about that. We focus on the backstory that got them there and show you that anyone can do it if you're really determined, focused, motivated, inspired, encouraged, empowered, and you change the people that's around you. Because those people, sometimes the people that are around you ain't going to get you to where you want to be. And you heard Maurice Andrew's story. Some of the people are not with him no more. You know, probably like none of them, maybe. But maybe one or two might be still be about.
Like one.
It's about like one. There you go. You know, I've got none. Like everyone I know, I don't even associate with them anymore. Hardly any of them, you know, just like one or two. So you heard it. This is Find a Born Leader within you, exclusive interview from the Wolf of Croydon, Maurice Andrew. Thank you for everyone for watching. Make sure if you want to be a part of the leadership group, ask Maurice Andrew or ask me. You're a leader. Find a Born Leader within you. We're all leaders. You just have to find it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Pleasure having you. Anyone want to ask any questions? I don't know if anyone wanted to ask any questions on there. Can you see any questions? Let's have a look. Chats.
If there's any questions, we can fire away because I've still got time. Derek, I can see you, bro.
All right, we got, I can hear you loud and clear. Everyone's quite happy. Fire, let's go. Fire, fire. What's up, Wolf? Okay, that's it. Everyone, no one has any questions. So yeah, that's it. We're done.
Yeah, that's all, man.
Thank you everyone for watching, and hit subscribe, hit follow, and you know how to reach out to Maurice, and you know how to reach out to me. Thank you again, Wolf of Croydon.
All good, man. All right, peace, bro.
Thank you.